Hello, I'm Vince Sims, and welcome to another edition of 5 Talk Street. Each year, NBC5 and Telemundo 39 team up with local animal shelters for Clear the Shelters and Desocupar los Albergues. Now, pet adoption campaigns, which has helped families adopt over 1.1 million animals over the past 11 years, and we are doing it again. It takes place now through August 31st, and it was inspired by a campaign that started right here on NBC5 and Telemundo 39 in 2014 when 33 local shelters decided to work together and get some animals adopted. Joining me now is Jamie Cantrell. He is the director of the Plano Animal Services, one of our participating shelters, and he has been with us since it all started. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Give us a little bit more background about Clear the Shelters.
Whenever this started, it was a one-day event, and I mean, it was absolutely insane. We had over 1,500 people come to our shelter in a day. We did 130 plus adoptions, and it did a great job of getting animals adopted on that one day. Now, COVID made it to where we had to change some things because obviously we weren't trying to get a lot of people into a confined space like that at that time. And so it ended up becoming more of a month-long event. But really the important thing is that it's just making people aware of the animals that are in the shelter and getting them to come in and just take a look. And we find that whenever people come in and look, they end up finding the animal that's right for them, and they take it home. And having the fees waived makes it to where they feel like they can come in and maybe use those fees to get better supplies or start training or something for the animal, to just kind of set them up to have a good lifelong adventure with that animal. So.
What does this mean for you? You've been there since the beginning, and to see this go from what it started to a national movement now.
Well, we couldn't have done it without the support of NBC, because, when Channel 5 came and said they wanted to sponsor the event, it made a huge difference just in the local people seeing what's going on in our local area. But then when it went national, I mean, to us, it just showed it really is a good idea because everybody else wanted to hop on that bandwagon, but we have a lot of pride in the fact that it came here, started here, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area with the shelters that are here. And, now it's nationwide. I mean, you can go to New York to California and there are shelters that are going to be participating.
Why is it so important to draw attention to pet adoptions, even way back then, but even now?
Well, for us, as an organization, as a business, we're working every day to try to put ourselves out of business. We would love to where we didn't have those animals that needed us, but the reality is that there are a lot of animals in animal shelters all across Texas, all across the Metroplex, and they need homes. I mean, animal shelters, we're a temporary place. We're not designed to be where they're going to live the rest of their lives. And so we really need those families and those people to come in and give them a home, and let them become part of their families so that they can, live the life that they deserve and also share the love that they have.
This sounds like a great opportunity to come down and find that pet for your family. But what do people need to know when they start thinking about coming for adopting?
Well, you want to make sure that you're prepared for it. Make sure that you have the supplies, for the animal, but you're also thinking ahead of not just, I need the bowls and the pet food and things like that, but also thinking about what are they going to need to be set up long term. For dogs, we always tell people the more training that you can get for them, which you can get training online now, the better off you're going to be and happier you're going to be long term with that animal. They also have to know that whenever you bring a new pet in, it could be 3 months before that pet is truly acclimated to your home. So you have to give them time to kind of adjust and know how your family runs things, especially if you have other animals in the household. So it really is just a matter of going in with your eyes open and making sure that you are really prepared and are going to be able to provide them for what they need.
And is there anything special that we need to bring with us if we're coming to adopt?
Now I would tell you, always call the shelters that you're going to be you're planning on visiting. Most animal shelters will require you to bring your identification. Some of them may require you to bring like a lease agreement if you are living in an apartment or something, so that they can verify that the animal you want to adopt is allowed there. But otherwise, just really call the shelter and find out if there's anything special. Most of the shelters, though, you're not going to have to bring a lot of extra information or anything. We all try to make the process as simple as possible. possible, because that's what we want, is people to come in and find the right pet. And if you make it difficult, then people don't want to do that. So
Exactly. Well, what about fees? What fees should we expect?
a lot of the shelters are doing reduced fees or waived fees. So again, you want to contact each individual shelter and find out. In Plano, we'll be waiving all of the fees for people that come in and adopt, but we will have a city registration fee that has to be paid if you're a Plano resident. So if you live outside of Plano, which we're just as happy to help people that live outside of Plano as the ones that do live in Plano, but if they live in Plano, there'll be a city registration fee that they have to pay, which at most that is $10, but after that there's no other fees involved.
All right, so definitely call, check with your closest local shelter, or come see the Plano shelter.
Yeah,
work with you
absolutely.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much for being with us and joining us.
You.
Well, of course, for more information on Clear the Shelters, including participating animal shelters and rescues, all you have to do is visit cleartheshelters.com or NBCDFW.com/community.